So let's go ahead and get into it, guys. Well, actually, I'll leave it up to you guys. Do we want to do WandaVision first, or we want to do the Ryan Johnson thing? We can do either
I
one.
love
Really.
WandaVision.
Let's do either. Let's flip a coin.
Let's flip a coin.
Flip a coin. I have coins.
WandaVision. It's the thumbnail, man. WandaVision.
I have a coin.
All
I'm
right,
gonna flip
Nikki's. All right, we'll flip.
Can you use my head powers on that coin?
Penny. Heads.
Grant
is
looks
for
like
Ryan
he's questioning
Johnson.
why he's here right now.
So heads is for
I'm gonna
Ryan
do that in
Johnson.
CGI. You're gonna
because
have
of
red
big
shit
brain.
on there.
Because Ryan Johnson has a big brain, and tails is for WandaVision because we're at the tail end of the season. So I'm gonna.
Okay.
That's what you think.
And it is tails.
All
I
right.
thought you just dropped it into a can of other coins.
Now I flipped it.
I literally thought that was what happened. Like it
I
landed
flipped
in.
It is absolutely tails.
Yeah.
All right. So let's
so
get
we're
to
doing
it,
WandaVision,
guys.
right?
Yep. This week, episode 7 of WandaVision aired. The last time we did it, like a full-on huge segment discussion of it, was about 2 weeks ago. So we figure, why not do another one? We've had 2 episodes since. I know you guys briefly discussed the other one last week for a few minutes, but let's get into it. We'll go around the horn. I'll start down with Nikki first. What were your thoughts on last week's episode? And if you want to go into the previous week's episode as well, you can. Yeah, go ahead.
So we'll cover both of them. Like there's as far as like last week's episode, the whole entire Pietro thing, we talked that a little bit. We only talked about it for a little bit, but I think we got a lot of our thoughts in. So I didn't think that was Pietro. Wanda doesn't think it's Pietro. So that was said this week. And yeah, I think Chris Diaz in the comments. Hey Chris, you're always there. He said that the biggest twist that we always saw coming was the Agatha Harkness, the Agnes smushed together, and that is always what I thought. Like she has that little brooch with like the 3 witches. I think it does have a connection to that deleted scene with the whole entire Water of Sight, with Avengers: Age of Ultron, about the 3. They're called something, not the Fates, but the something else.
I can find it for you. If
You
you
can
want to
find it. Yeah, Aaron, you'll find it. But there's on her brooch. There's 3 women, and the like dungeon thing that was, I mean, really cool. It looked like there was a Groot growing out of like that dungeon. But the Nexus, I think the Nexus was the most important part of this episode, and it's just like the throwaway antidepressant ad, because in the comic books, and this is a comic book thing, Mephisto is one of those Nexus characters where no matter what universe you're in, no matter what Earth you're on, there's only one Mephisto. So that one Mephisto would be able to see into the Fox universe to know what Evan Peters' Quicksilver looks like, but also be able to have the knowledge of the Prime MCU universe so that he could fill that Pietro shell with all those things that he said in the last episode. And I'm really glad that that's definitively, like Wanda said, that's not Pietro, because he was kind of a dick, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Oh yeah. He
kind of acted like that in the Fox movies too, where he was kind of dickish.
Yeah, he was like a lovable dick, you know?
Yeah,
lovable
but
dick.
You gotta remember, this fits like each episode well until now. It's based off of a different decade of sitcoms. In that decade, that was the older brother, essentially, of Malcolm in the Middle, and he wasn't a nice guy. He was a dick too.
If I acted like that, my sister would kill me. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, and then Vision was like Bryan Cranston.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I love the Kat Dennings Vision road trip stuff. Yeah. The Office style, Modern Family style, talking to the camera. I thought that was a really good episode for this, especially since I don't think we're getting another like immersive sitcom style episode. Like, I think that part's done. I think it's just widescreen aspect ratio from now on. We're in the MCU, and that book at the end. I know it doesn't look like it did on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but damn it, that's the Darkhold. That is absolutely the Darkhold. You don't think it's the Darkhold?
Nope.
What is it?
It's not the Darkhold. Darkhold's completely different shape, different colours coming off it and everything. And Coulson got rid of that, so...
the Darkhold morphs. He gave it to Robbie Reyes. And like, people argue like whether that universe is canon. I like to think it is. If that is the Darkhold, I'm still going to think that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is canon, but that almost seems like a Nexus room. Because like there were these hexagonal things and they almost looked like doorways, and they could have been like doorways to other universe. Like if she goes up the stairs in that doorway, she gets in one universe. She goes up the stairs, and I'm just going off like that could be further from the truth. One of the creepiest things though, if you look behind Wanda, there's a giant like tarp, like a shower curtain tarp that has blood on it. So Agnes killed somebody.
She ate the children.
Yeah. She killed the kids.
Oh.
Like I said,
that's
at some
horrible.
point, kids are going to be gone.
Yeah.
I didn't think they'd kill them, but they're dead.
No.
I think she's going to use that to bring Ralph, a.k.a. Mephisto, into the show. Because Mephisto 100% is
Evan Peters?
No, it's not going to be Evan Peters. Because Evan Peters, remember, we see in the show, she also has magic. She's controlling him like she's going to be controlling Wanda. So that's why I 100% am convinced that this is the Fox version, because I think the multiverse started to crack open. Charles Xavier saw something in there, saw Wanda was doing this thing, sent him there, because if he said Pietro, that's going to maybe bring her back to reality and get her to stop it. But as he got in there, because remember, before we see him, the alarms are going off in, Earth, like outside of the hex. Remember, when Wanda comes out of it, the alarms are going off. When
was that her though?
Was that Wanda coming out?
Was that Wanda? Because Loki
in episode 5, it absolutely was. It was absolutely Wanda in episode 5. Yes, because she comes out with her Russian accent. That's when she's upset. I think they use the accent when she's mad. So the alarms are going off when somebody enters that area. Like, we got Monica entering when she got thrown out. Yeah. The alarms went off. Alarms went off. Pietro from Foxverse comes into Earth. The alarms went off because somebody's entering the thing. He goes into the hex. And as he gets there, I think Agnes knows, okay, that's actually, that guy shouldn't be here. Let's control him. Like, I think she knows.
You brought up the best point, the alarms. The alarms. I haven't heard anybody on the internet say the alarms.
I've been saying this for 2 weeks, too.
The alarms go off, and then Darcy runs by the TV and sees that it's Evan Peters, but they never really show what the other people are going after. It seems like they're just reacting to, like, the Wanda situation that just happened, but it might be something else. The reason I didn't think that was Wanda was because, like, the Sokovian accent was coming through, and because it's the costume that they showed in both, like, Age of Ultron, or not Age of Ultron, Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame. So I thought maybe Agatha saw that on TV and then did like the Loki projection style magic, put her out there to scapegoat her to make her look like the villain. And Wanda actually has no clue that she's affecting other people.
No, I think to me that's a case of a little, and I was talking about it with my friend this week. I think this show is actually developing something very interesting on the internet. In that, I'm going to shout out another, bigger than us obviously, but another YouTuber who I'm a fan of, a video game reviewer by the name of Angry Joe, who's been doing reviews of WandaVision, and he pointed out something in one of his reviews that I agree with, where he said the internet being such a huge predictor behind the show and having the time to go so crazy with their theories that people are actually going to be disappointed by the show going with the most obvious choice for its thing. And that's why we saw this week the internet's reaction to the reveal that Agnes was Agatha Harkness was, oh, duh, why wasn't that revealed earlier? And it's like, well, because the show's not made with the thought of these people are going to spend 6 months really overthinking it. And so, to me, I think like what Nikki's suggesting, to me that's a case of overthinking it. I think it's as simple as she saw her family get threatened. She came out to defend them. I think the reason the accent comes back is because she has the accent still in the real world. In what is her perfect reality, she does not carry the accent.
And she was hiding the accent much like Natasha does. Like that's something like if you watch like Civil War, Natasha was like, training her in spycraft, And that was definitely something she was doing because Natasha was telling her to. She was trying to emulate Natasha in that way because Natasha threw her accent away, and she's trying to like blend in undercover. She was trying to get people not to notice her like as much as possible. Much like at the beginning of this series where like that lady kind of broke, but I don't believe you. She's like, we're not trying to hurt anyone, and there's still kind of that hostility towards them. That was a great thing. Yeah, Catherine Hahn doing the vocals on there as well.
That was Matt, what can I just say?
I didn't mean to cut you off before. You just had a great point with the alarms.
Oh, you're good.
Can I just say though, but yeah, so like the point I was making is, I think that people are actually putting themselves in a position where they're going to be disappointed, because I've seen, and obviously the internet's an extreme, but I've seen comments on the internet where people are like, if the astrophysicist or whatever it is isn't Reed Richards, then what was the point in even building something out of it? And it's like, well, they're not building it with the intent of you overthinking this. Like, you can't, and I said, what I compared it to, and I wonder if anybody else thinks I'm a little crazy for this comparison, but I compared it to The Last Jedi. Right? Now, hear me out. Obviously, there are people who don't like The Last Jedi for legitimate reasons. And as someone who likes the film, if there's someone who doesn't like it, like they have actual problems with the filmmaking behind it, I can totally respect that because it's an opinion. But the internet went very crazy when that film came out, hating it simply because it didn't do what they wanted it to. And I often found a number of people I spoke with didn't have any other legitimate criticisms. They just didn't like that it didn't do what they wanted it to do. And now, a few years later, with that anger subsiding, I've had some friends rewatch the film and actually like it now because they're past whatever that weird thing was that hit them. And some still maintain they have their reasons they don't like it. And again, I respect that. I think that's what this show may end up suffering a little bit of, is I think people have gone so far into the overly speculative thing that if this show doesn't do what they're now attached to as their theory, they may start to feel disappointment towards the show.
I think it's immune to that, though.
And that'll be something that will possibly subside over time. But I think it's a really weird position to be in, with fan culture being so speculative and so informed about things that they're becoming attached to all these possible connections that they like. I know for a fact that if the MCU casts anybody other than John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic, there will be internet outrage. And for that reason, I want them to cast someone else other than John Krasinski. Just to say, we don't have to subside to you. There are other options we can go with. Greg, you've been very quiet, man. What are your thoughts? Go into it.
I think it was the worst episode so far.
I agree.
Good.
I mean, let's just look at it from a within world storytelling sort of thing.
Yeah, Malcolm, you're right.
Why the hell was Vision getting in the car with her and driving off? He remembered everything else. Yeah. I mean, and that's the problem. That's like, so you're going to make all your male characters idiots now.
Yeah.
When Rambeau went through the thing, and then they did the freaking Captain Marvel thing, where it's like, you're the best ever, you're fantastic. They're telling us that she's good without actually giving any effort to show us why she's good. And I hate, it's the laziest form of storytelling, and I absolutely hate that. She gets the powers, and then goes, and then doesn't react to it. She's a good actress. I like her. I think she's good in the role, but I think whoever wrote this was the worst episode, and it did her no favors, because all of it is they're just now turning her into the best of the best that can ever be, and she's gonna have no arc. Every single time that they're bringing in a female character now, she doesn't have to work for anything. She's already got the peak, and it's not enjoyable to watch, because all it does is make the characters come off snotty and bratty. Kat Dennings. I mean, I don't understand how Kat Dennings is able to knock out a strong man with that sort of punch, but I guess that's what she can do now. The fact of the matter is, if she is as outside of the real world as she's in there, because she's now the same person, why didn't she drive around? Why did she just wait? She's not the sort of person that sits there and waits. It made no sense.
Right.
No.
They just put stuff in there, and I don't think that was Wanda putting stuff in the way. I actually think that was Agnes.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I didn't understand any of that. And then they've gone, oh well, Vision flew off in the end. But like, that makes no sense. They held him up there just for no reason, just so Rambo and that could have a bit of a conversation. And I mean, yes, the reveal. I think everyone saw it coming, but I still think the reveal was done quite well, because even when it was going down, it wasn't just like, oh, by the way, I'm this. There was, what happened to the kids, and then the way in which they shot it and everything, it worked. So I'm not one of these people who, I mean, I was one of the ones early on and said, oh, I think it was the first episode. I think that's who it's going to be.
Yeah.
Because we only had like 5 people to discuss in that episode.
Right.
But I knew it was coming. I still thought they pulled it off all right. I thought the song and everything was very Munster-like, and I like the way that they did that.
Your hair looked crazy after like during the reveal, like it went all like witch-like.
Right.
And I mean, she killed the dog just so people go, oh well.
Oh yes,
I hate her because
I killed Sparky too.
I'm so happy she did. I called that out.
You
I
are a
said
monster
she
if you're
killed the
happy.
dog, and I'm happy she did it because that dog was from hell.
You're a monster.
No, the dog wasn't from hell. I think the dog was not even from there, because I think that's the reason why she got rid of it. I think the dog literally wandered in. It was just a stray dog.
Yeah.
You think it was just a stray? I think she put the dog.
Just kind of walked around.
She had all the stuff ready to go.
I mean, the only way that she would do that is because she wants the kids to age up to the ripe old age where she can consume them.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Basically.
That's what she wanted. Yeah.
So I was gonna say, I've been putting up some of the comments on screen as I'm reading through them. I want to call this one out because I agree with you, but I think it's for the opposite reason. This is also, in my opinion, the worst episode of the show thus far. I didn't hate it, and it certainly had good points to it. But for me, one of the downsides of it was I actually didn't think they executed the Modern Family office style thing all that well, because one of the reasons they do it on that shows is they use those scenes as a way to provide either extra exposition or insight into a character's thoughts, and I didn't think they did anything constructive with it in this show that they couldn't have done with another format. And so to me, even though, the scene itself is executed well and it's funny, to me, them having Vision go, well, what am I doing this for? This is pointless, and flying off is like, no, it has been pointless. Why have we been doing talking heads the whole episode? Everything you said, we could have found out through a natural... And to me, and that's a criticism I have on any show that does talking heads when they don't do it well, is what's the point in doing this? Because you're not adding anything to the show by doing this execution. You're just doing it to do it.
I feel like they're padding it out just to get a reveal at the end. They did it with episode 3. Episode 3, where the kids were born, was essentially a filler episode, just so they could do the big reveal of pushing it out.
And that was 10 minutes of chasing a stork.
It was nothing. And they've done that. It's now the 3rd time that they've done that, where the episode is essentially null and void, and it's just for the reveal. Yes, you can say, well, it's because a lot of TV shows are like that and doing that. But the thing of it is, if they're going to call out a bad TV show or a style to do it, don't do it exactly the same way and add nothing else to it, because it's just lazy.
To respond to this, I did not see that hidden message in there. I'll have to go back and watch it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch
I missed the message. What did he say?
Apparently in the intro, there's a quick shot of a message. I know what you are doing, Wanda.
Huh. Yeah, I have to check that out. I didn't hear them.
I will say, and this is one of the things I've praised throughout the whole show, and I wanted to pull up their names to give them credit, because I knew they were people I recognized. The theme song composers, Kristen Anderson Lopez and Robert Lopez, who are amongst Disney fans most known for composing the score to Frozen. They do a great job with these intros, and I liked this one. And one of the things I liked is I liked how the theme song almost sounded like a mix of all the different shows it was trying to parody. Like, I could hear a bit of The Office in there, and I could hear a bit of this in there.
I actually thought it was more the Goldberg sort of intro. To me, that's what it read more of. With it had a mix of that.
Yeah. I think it was mixing a few different things.
Office, like just enough like The Office, but just different so that they wouldn't get flagged by the YouTube algorithm.
Sorry guys, I don't mean to interrupt you. Thank you, Malcolm. Malcolm actually DM'd me the screenshot, so I'll download it and pull it up. Thank you, Malcolm.
I will say,
keep going, guys. I'll pull it up.
I will say, I don't think Reed Richards is the friend that was talked about. I was talking first show. I think it's
it was that good lady.
Skrull that she was friends with, the little kid Skrull from Captain Marvel. I think that's who it is. But if it was Reed Richards, and let's say they did cast John Krasinski, I would have loved it if you had had Jimmy and him go into the Hex, but it was their office character.
Office
so you have
version,
the two Jims. I would have died.
Okay, here it is.
That is the funniest cold open they have ever had. Where he was Jim, but not Jim, like the fake Jim. It was just so funny, and he was the perfect actor to do that with.
Yeah.
I missed this when watching the show, but that's cool.
I like that
they're doing. I like that they're doing stuff like that. Like this was doing the Office thing of like flashing images across the screen, and there's another show I read it on Wikipedia.
Brothers.
There's another show it was specifically imitating closely.
It was like Happy something or
Happy Endings. That's what it is.
Happy Endings. There you go. Yeah. And Russo brothers worked on that.
Oh, did they? Okay, I didn't know that. So that makes sense actually. But
if you read the words, you get more and more ridiculous as it goes on.
I like what they're doing, though. I like that they're slipping stuff like that in.
Oh, yeah, I love it.
How close are you paying attention to catch it? Admittedly, I was not.
Catherine Hahn actually was the voice of the director earlier. They just, like, pitch correct it to turn it down.
Oh, was it? Okay, cool.
Yeah. It's like they
Good
they
pitch correction, because that sounded like a natural voice. That didn't sound fucked with.
Do you think it's what you deserve?
Okay, I see it. Yeah, I can hear it. Yeah.